higher in the runoff. So it's going to be a tough thing to do to try and run a campaign on more of a budget than someone who's got a lot more money to throw around. So, you know, we're gonna have to rely a lot on sort of manpower, getting people out there, doing things that, you know, maybe don't cost a lot of money but are really efficient. You know, we're gonna have to go back and talk to all the student orgs that maybe had endorsed one of the two candidates who isn't in the running anymore. You're gonna have to go out and talk to, you know, the various Greek organizations that those candidates were affiliated with. So, I mean, it's just the same race, and we're just gonna have it again. But you know, two fewer candidates. I don't know that's the simplest way to put it, but you know, it's going to be tough. I'm going to be outspent, but I'm going to try my best not to be out-hustled.
Two fewer candidates, indeed. Now, at the outset of this race, John Benetti was a very low-profile, did not have the name recognition. We thought, more or less, and to be honest here, it was a joke candidacy. His performance in the WRGW debate was poor, to say the least, and yet he edged out Josh Goldsey for the number 3 position. Did that catch you by surprise?
You know, it really didn't. I've always thought that you know, the people who were supporting John's candidacy weren't necessarily the people who were paying attention to the debates. They were people who, you know, were really attracted to him as a person, and so that sort of the sort of support he had wasn't necessarily registering in some of the circles that we would, you know, traditionally think of as being, you know, gauging support for an SA candidate. So no, I mean, I wasn't surprised that he captured 3rd place. You know, him and Josh both ran good campaigns. You know, I saw John Benetti, you know, out on the street handing out phone cards every day, doing the sort of retail stuff that you know, that can run up a vote total even to the surprise of people who are paying attention.
One of the things we noted in our own endorsement, and of course, as Jason had said just a couple of minutes ago, you guys are planning on living together next year. You certainly have a cordial relationship, but we noted that the working relationship seems pretty strong as well, and that, in fact, if you win this race, that it would be a very dynamic team that will be able to get a lot done. Do you think you can match up in a way that's really successful and productive for students?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think if you're looking for a team of 2 people out of all these candidates tonight who would be able to do the best work together, it would have to be Jason and myself. I've known Jason since my first semester here, freshman year. You know, you know, you couldn't find 2 people who you would think are less alike, but you know, we complement each other really well. I know we would work really well together as advocates. You know, Jason tends to be able to know how to work the lines and get things done, and you know, I'd like to think that, you know, I can sort of keep my ear to what the students are talking about, so I can come to Jason and say, hey, you know, it's really important that we get alcohol amnesty fixed, or we get SJS, you know, reform. And Jason's going to be able to say, okay, well, I know how to do that. Let's contact this administrator, this administrator, this administrator, and we'll set up meetings and we'll go meet with them. So, you know, I think, you know, the level of sort of synergy that me and Jason would have together as a working team would be almost unprecedented in the Student Association's history. You know, we've been friends for a long time, worked together this year, and you know, I really think we can do a great job for the students.
Logan, as we were doing our polling going into tonight, Dan and I were really, and Alex, were taken aback by the voter apathy that exists out there. It's even higher, believe it or not, than it was last year. Many people have totally checked out, think it's a broken organization. How do you convince those people that you're able to turn the ship around if you get that chance at the executive vice president?
Right. You know, I mean, I think it's pretty much a matter of record. You know, I've got that record of being someone who's been fighting for the cares and concerns of the average student rather than the sort of insider essay politics. You know, my opponent, he's certainly an outsider in that, you know, he doesn't have any meaningful essay experience. You know, he was the Senate secretary, which, or maybe even the Senate legislative director. I don't recall which, but his most basic function was assigning numbers to the bills that were submitted. So I think that, you know, having the sort of experience and the proven record of being someone who fights not for internal essay politics, but for the students is something that I think is really going to resonate with the apathetic voter.
So I see an angle emerging here, Logan. Tested, proven, people know your record, no match for an SA Senate Secretary.
I mean, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, I haven't developed any talking points yet, and I'm 100% sure I won't. You know, I've been on your radio show a few times. You know, you've always known me to talk off the cuff. So, you know, I'm not going negative early, but you know, I mean, it's really clear. It's been written about. You know, the Hatchet endorsed me, WRGW endorsed me, all the student orgs that were in support of me noted that, you know, not only do I have sort of the right ideas for how to change the Student Association and our student government in general here, but I also have the record of, you know, knowing how to implement them, knowing what needs to be done, and being on the right side of issues.
And again, now that the debates are behind us, I can say with full certainty, Logan Dobson, fluent talker, top-notch debater, Renaissance man, true gentleman. Thanks so much for joining us, Logan. Good luck going into the next couple